Hi, welcome to Video Math Lessons. Tonight we're going to be looking at a Math 12 pre-calculus class. The topic will be rationals, and tonight we're going to talk about solving rational equations with one variable. So you actually did these kind of problems last year. These were the fractional equations, and we had some steps that we did, and we're going to use the same steps. So we need to find the common denominator. So we're going to look at all the denominators, and we're going to find which one will be our common denominator. So, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take the CD and we're going to multiply each term by the CD. After that, we're going to cancel. You know you're doing it right if the denominators cancel out. You don't want denominators. That's what we're trying to get rid of. And after that, we solve it. So after we solve it, we're going to get some answers. And you have to do is check. And what I'm really checking for is I'm checking especially for undefined. The fraction cannot go undefined. All right? So this is our steps that we're going to follow. So let's take a look. Question number 1. Solve 3 over x plus 2 plus 6 over x squared plus 2x equals 3 minus x over x. All right, so what I'm going to do is, right here, I don't like this one, how it's set up. I don't like the 6 over x squared plus 2x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor this. I'm going to take out the x, and I get x plus 2. Now, look at all the denominators. So in this x plus 2, I'm going to put parentheses around it. So I have x and x plus 2's. So my CD for this problem will be x times x plus 2. Just like you did in trig, this question could have been from trig. Now, I'm going to take the CD. I'm going to put it in the numerator for each one of these. So upstairs, we go x times x plus 2, x times x plus 2, x times x plus 2. Now, what do I say in the numerator? Because you can really think of this as like over 1. And you could write it this way. I don't, but you could. And what we're going to do is we're going to cancel. So this x plus 2 cancels x plus 2. And I'm going to clean this up as I go. So what's left here is 3x. Both of these cancel, x plus 2. So what's left there is 6. So this will be plus 6. And on this one, what do we got here? The x's cancel. And so I got that. Oh, be careful. So I'll put parentheses around this. So it's 3 minus x times x plus 2. Now to solve this, I have to get rid of this parentheses. So we're going to FOIL this out. And however you FOIL it, some people use a box method, but you should be past that stage. You could do this in your head if you wish. I'm just gonna FOIL it out straight because just distribute because it's got this weird minus x in it. So I'm just going nice and easy. So it's 3x plus 6 negative x squared minus 2x. Clean this mess out. You get negative x squared plus x plus 6 equals 3x plus 6. Now, this is a quadratic. To solve a quadratic, I'm going to move everything this way. You could go this way, but you have this negative x squared. So I'm just going to move everything over because it's easy enough. So x squared comes over, becomes positive on this side. 3x minus x is 2x. And what's nice with this problem is the 6's cancel out. So it's actually equal to 0. Quadratics, we factor and solve. So I'm just going to move this all up to here. So I have this x squared plus 2x. And we're going to factor. It's a common factor, GCF. So take out of x. We get x plus 2. Draw the line. So we solve each little part. X is 0, X is negative 2. Now, hold on now. The last step was to check. Now, we mentioned something undefined. Now, let's take a look downstairs. If I go undefined, it is bad. X plus 2. If we plug in a negative 2 here, this x plus 2 term will go to 0. That's bad. That's undefined. So this negative 2 is a reject. It's called an extraneous root. It's called extraneous roots. Okay, so that's bad. So we got to get rid of it. I don't cross it out. I don't scribble out my work. It's just extraneous. Now, over here, though, if I plug in a 0 for x, that's bad also. So that's a reject. Well, both my answers reject. So what's the answer to the problem? Well, you can say either no solution, or you can say empty set. You can say null set. All pretty much the same. So I don't care which one you use. Just make sure you can do it. Let's try it again. So I got 4x over x plus 4 plus 3 over x minus 1 equals 15 over x squared plus 3x minus 4. So I'm going to factor this first to see what we have to play around with this back part. And what a coincidence. X plus 4, x minus 1. So when I look at this problem, my CD is going to be x plus 4 times x minus 1. Because that's what I have floating around the whole problem. So I'm going to go through, put my parentheses on things, and I'm going to put the x plus 4, x minus 1 in the numerator of each term. Cancel it out. You know you're doing it right if the fractions disappear on the bottom. Right? The denominators disappear. Don't want denominators. So we cancel this out. So x plus 4 cancels x plus 4. And before we start scribbling on the stuff here, what you might want to take a look at is what would be undefined for this problem. So later on, when we do our answers, negative 4 would be bad, positive 1s would be bad. So we'll just keep that in mind, and when we come to it, we'll talk about it. So now I get 4x times x minus 1 plus 3 times x plus 4 and both these cancel, so it equals 15. Now, what we have to do is, sorry, it's a little sloppy, but distribute, clean this up. So I get 4x squared minus 4x plus 3x plus 12 equals 15. Set this mess to 0 and clean it up. 4x squared, that's a minus x. And when I bring the 15 over, I get minus 3. This is a factoring. It's a trinomial, lead coefficient of a 4. So, you know, some people can just look at them. That's great. If not, I'm going to do the method. Multiply front and back. I get negative 12. To make a negative 1, it's got to be a 4 and a 3. Term sign goes with a bigger number, so it's negative 4 and positive 3. Divide by the lead with an x. Cancel if I can, and write it upside down. So it'll be x minus 1 and 4x plus 3. Now remember, it's still a quadratic, set to 0, so I'm going to set it to 0. Draw the line down the middle. We solve each part. X equals 1. X equals negative 3/4. Now, we talked about this before. Undefined would be if it was a negative 4 or a positive 1. Here I have positive 1. That's a reject. I can't use it. It's an extraneous root. It's an extra answer. So we can't use it. We have to get rid of it. And negative 3/4, if I plug it in and do some crazy math, it would actually work out. And that's my answer. Well, that's it. Have a nice night. Thank you. Bye.